When Apple first revealed the original HomePod back in 2017, most people were taken aback at the price tag. But what you have to remember is this is more than just a smart speaker. It's a high-end audio device that delivers impressive audio performance. But now we have the HomePod Mini, which comes in at £99 and promises to deliver an impressive audio experience coupled with enough power to drive your HomeKit setup, HomeKit Secure Video, and the latest smart features from Apple. Continue to watch this video to find out more. Hi, welcome back, and my name's John, and if you're new around here and this is the first time you're watching a video from HomeKit Authority, this channel is dedicated to everything HomeKit. So if you want to find out more about HomeKit and you want to keep up to date, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and also the bell button. Also follow our social media channels at Follow HomeKit, where we post plenty of information about the latest news on HomeKit and also our reviews. Please note this is a rather long video, so go grab yourself your favorite drink and snack as we're going to cover the unboxing, design, setup, audio performance, stereo pairing, intercom, Siri control, HomeKit and thread, and my initial thoughts. So starting with the unboxing and design, the HomePod Mini comes in a small box with the HomePod Mini inside, which has the power cord attached. You also have a simple instruction manual and one Apple transfer sticker. Finally, you also get a USB power brick, which is a 20 watts. In terms of the design, the HomePod Mini is a sphere similar to an Apple, and it's just 3.3 inches tall, which makes it just under half the size of the original HomePod, which stands at 6.8 inches. The HomePod Mini, like the original, is wrapped in a soft mesh fabric and comes in either white or space grey. So depending on the room you plan to place the Mini, then either should fit well. Although, like the original HomePod, the concern I have over the white model getting dirty over time is still valid, and that should be a consideration. The Mini has a flat bottom, and while it's weighty enough not to get easily knocked around, you also don't need to worry about marking the surface, as this could be the case with the larger HomePod. The power cord is space grey or white fabric to match the colour of the HomePod Mini and is 150 centimeters long with a USB-C connection at the end. This slots into a 20 watt charging block, which you can use to fast charge the new iPhone. It's worth pointing out if you use anything below 20 watts, then the HomePod Mini does not power on and emits an orange glow to inform you it's not getting enough power. It's also worth pointing out that you cannot pull out the power cord from the HomePod Mini like with the original HomePod. One minor point, the power brick only comes in a white colour. For the white version this is fine as it blends with the white cable, but the space grey version, it does not sit right with me. This feels like a miss by Apple in terms of design, but I do think it does come down to personal preference, and to be honest, in most cases the power brick will be hidden away anyway. Moving on to the screen on the HomePod, which is opaque, white or black to match the relevant colour of the smart speaker you've chose. It stays inactive when not in use, but it will emit an orb of colour when you say those words. This is to show Siri is listening or processing, but when it's playing music, a gentle white light is shown. I did find the space grey attracted more fingerprints compared to the white one, but this is where you've got to decide if the trade-off of fingerprints versus the concern of owning the white version. Either way, I'm not fussed with the fingerprints, as these can be easily wiped away, nor does the white design looking less white over time bother me that much. There are no physical buttons on the HomePod Mini, although it does feature some near invisible plus and minus symbols that are etched into the panel. This is different to the original HomePod that was only visible when turned on. When touched, they raise or lower the volume. Tap of the center of the panel will pause or resume your music. A double tap skips forward and a triple tap skips back. A long press activates Siri to listening mode. Connectivity is provided via 5 GHz Wi-Fi and also supports Bluetooth 5.0, Thread, and the new U1 ultra wideband chip. Now moving on to setup. The HomePod Mini setup process is incredibly simple, and if you're used to setting up Apple products, then you'll be familiar with it and just how it works. Once you've taken it out of the box and plugged it in, you'll be greeted with a small light that glows at the top of the speaker and a sound. Hold your iPhone near to the HomePod Mini and you'll get a notification that asks if you would like to connect. Tapping this will activate the camera, which you can use to find on top, which is swirling. Once you've done that, it then starts to transfer your data. In a few simple steps, it's easy to transfer key information to the device. You don't need to start entering Wi-Fi details or passwords or any of those things. It just transfers the data and sets it all up for you. You also can have your Apple ID synced across, as well as a choice of whether you would like to enable personal requests and Siri for everyone in the home. In under 5 minutes, the HomePod Mini was set up with very little involvement other than tapping a few steps. Let's move on to audio performance. Although the HomePod Mini is priced at £99, I want to say up front I've been blown away by the audio performance for the price point. I tested it with a variety of different musical genres, and while it's not the same oomph as the original HomePod, it's not bad either. Unless you're a serious music lover, I would say 90% of people will be happy with it. The treble frequencies and vocals are very clear, and the songs that I've played, punching through basic tracks, and everything I've tested had a good balance. Even though the bass was often strong, it wasn't overpowering. The mid-tones were smooth, especially in pop songs, and cranking the sound levels up to around 85% didn't introduce distortion. If anything, the room-filling experience was enhanced at higher volume levels. Although I can't play any copyrighted music to show you, this is a sample using the content from my podcast, The HomeKit Show. Welcome to The HomeKit Show, and my name is John. This week, we're going to talk about the HomePod Mini, Eve, and bringing Fred support along with. Although the HomePod is mainly driven by Apple Music, podcast or iTunes content, Apple has confirmed that more streaming services will soon become part of the HomePod ecosystem. In the US, for instance, Pandora has already gone live for HomePod users, meaning you can set it as your default playback service. It's a little bit disappointing that Spotify does not work on the HomePod Mini, and either side are not really commenting on what's going on. However, you can use a workaround for using Spotify and other streaming services that are not supported on the HomePod, and this is by using AirPlay. Another great feature that I was able to test, the HomePod Mini has the ability to hand off music, podcasts and other content. All you need to do is bring your iPhone close to the HomePod and it will hand off the audio. You can also repeat this process to pass the content back to your iPhone. You can do this with calls, and it can be used as a conference speaker, ideal if you work from home. However, later this year, Apple will deliver an update that will utilize the U1 ultra wideband chip, which will apparently, according to Apple, enable a smoother handoff experience. This will enable you to switch your music from your phone to the HomePod Mini more seamlessly. But what that actually means in reality, I'm not sure at this time. However, it's going to be interesting to see what other benefits it will in fact bring. But as I've said in other videos, I think Apple could take this one step further and use the U1 chip to act as a ultra wideband base station. This could track location of people in the home using iPhone or Apple Watch that has a U1 chip built in. Could also allow users to interact with media controls, smart lighting, doors, locks and other HomeKit devices. Taking it one step further, could be used for automation rules for certain times of day, meaning it could trigger devices to act in a certain way. So in the evening, if you walked into the bedroom, the U1 chip could detect this and turn on the lights and set to warm colours, where if you walked into the living room in the morning, it could raise the blinds and turn on the HomePod to play your favourite playlist or favourite radio station, for instance. While the HomePod Mini's audio is great when used on its own, you can also stereo pair two together, although it's not the same as stereo pair found in the original HomePod, which will enable an immersive home theatre experience when paired with an Apple TV 4K, which will bring full 5.1, 7.1 surround and Dolby Atmos. Users, however, can still pair two HomePod Minis as a stereo pair and work together to deliver left and right channels. This I found improved the sound a great deal. Welcome to the HomeKit Show. HomePod Mini also supports AirPlay 2 multi-room capabilities, which means if you have multiple HomePod Minis throughout the home, the sound will play throughout the home in sync, which I found worked well. And it's also handy if you say cleaning around the house and you want to play your favorite podcast to be heard throughout your home, so you're moving from room to room. But don't worry, each HomePod can also stream its own audio, so you don't have to put up with your kids' music. Now, in terms of Siri control, there are 4 microphones built into the device, 3 that specifically listen out for the words command, and 4th that uses echolocation to ensure you can be heard over background noise or loud music. I found during my test testing that you can still be heard over very loud music, and it picked it up really well. As I have 5 HomePod minis around my home, along with the original HomePod, I was impressed by the way Siri seems to know which device is being addressed. For instance, when I was walking upstairs towards my studio, being the closest room, the Studio HomePod Mini would respond to my commands when the other devices would not. This was also same if I had an iPhone or other Siri-enabled device in the room, the HomePod Mini seemed to pick it up. There's also a new Hey Siri, What's My Update feature where you can get an update overview of the day, news headlines, traffic ahead of your next calendar entry, and other things. You can also ask the HomePod to send text messages to people in your contact list and also call people. Although the HomePod Mini didn't struggle with hearing me or responding when requested, Siri did sometimes struggle with commands and would sometimes not do what was asked. While this is not a fault of the HomePod Mini, it does show that Apple needs to keep refining Siri. I would like to see Apple develop Siri over the next year to improve performance and what it can do and respond to. This will certainly help with more people adopting these types of speakers, particularly HomePods. Moving on to Intercom. Intercom was first revealed alongside the HomePod Mini at the October Apple event. This feature allows one person to send an intercom message from one HomePod to another or to other iOS devices. The voice will automatically play on the designated HomePod speaker or all speakers depending on the instruction given to Siri. As I've said, intercom message will also appear on connected iPhones, iPads, Apple Watch and CarPlay. I found intercom worked as expected as it did with the original HomePod, and it played on all HomePods dotted around my house. Now, because I've already done an in-depth video on how to use Apple Intercom with HomePods and other devices. Hey Siri, send an intercom. Tea's ready everybody. A video should be coming above now that will take you through in detail on how to set up Intercom, how to use it with HomePod and other enabled devices. Now moving on to HomeKit Hub and also the new feature Fred, as well as being a music focused smart speaker. The HomePod Mini also has advanced smart home features. It can operate as a HomeKit hub, which means you can use the Home app and advanced automations when using this device. In addition, if you have a HomeKit secure video enabled smart camera, then the HomePod Mini is powerful enough to analyze and process captured footage to use with HomeKit secure video. I also used the HomePod Mini for full 24 hours as the primary HomeKit hub, and I didn't see any issues with HomeKit secure video performance or automation handling. Everything just works as it should, which means the HomePod Mini is a very affordable option if you require a HomeKit hub and you may have been put off by an Apple TV or the original HomePod. As with Siri performance, controlling smart devices such as lights was a breeze with the HomePod Mini. For instance, if you have a HomePod Mini in the bedroom, you just have to say, turn out the lights, and because the HomePod Mini will know which room you've assigned it to, it will just turn out those lights. And because this device is so affordable, you can put it in many rooms and then it will just work and you'll be able to get a better experience using Siri and HomeKit. The HomePod Mini also has Fred wireless capabilities. Fred is an IP6 based low power mesh networking technology for Internet of Things products. It's intended to be secure and future proof. The other benefit of Fred is that more devices that are connected, the more stable and the more connected it gets. The real benefits of Fred is you can pair devices to your HomeKit setup running a HomePod Mini. These devices will then create a mesh that then allow each other to communicate. As an example, if you have an Eve Aqua outside in the garden that normally would struggle with Bluetooth reach, if you have a HomePod Mini and an Eve Energy somewhere in the middle, this will connect everything together and create that mesh network. Another benefit, if one of the devices in your Thread network becomes unavailable, data packets will select an alternative route automatically and the network simply continues to work. And while Wi-Fi and Bluetooth networks tend to become somewhat unreliable as you add more, this can support to 250 devices. So challenging this network shouldn't be a problem, as large number of accessories connected will help improve the overall performance of the Fred network. The real benefit for me though is manufacturers could easily deploy devices that do not require a hub. Previously, manufacturers only had the choice of Bluetooth if they didn't want to deploy a hub when using HomeKit. However, some users have found that range and response times didn't work for them. But because Thread works differently, it opens up the possibility of having a robust, stable connection without having additional hubs in your home. Now, I did test this with a Nanoleaf light bulb, and before, when it was using Bluetooth, it took between 2 and 4 seconds to turn on. However, when it was connected via Thread, it was near instant. So this shows that claims that Thread are going to improve things is really true, and this is a really good sign and encouragement. Apart from when I used one of the HomePod minis as the primary HomeKit hub, none of the 5 HomePod minis were the primary hub, which did leave me with concerns if Thread would still be supported if the other hubs were in standby mode. However, I've been informed that regardless if a HomePod mini is the primary or standby, if it's turned on and available, then it will connect with Thread-enabled devices and create that network. Now, moving on to one of the bigger points, which is privacy. We all value our privacy, and in the new digital age, privacy for internet devices should be #1 priority for anyone setting up a smart home. After all, connected devices like smart speakers are in our homes listening to what we say, and sometimes they can be collecting this data. But with HomePod mini and the original HomePod and any Siri device, they only send information to Apple servers once Siri has been activated. This is only when you say those words or hold the top of the mini screen. As mentioned before, this screen will then swirl colourfully to let you know Siri is capturing audio nearby. Knowing that privacy is built right into the HomePod mini and Apple products in general is one of the reasons why I use HomeKit and Apple products. Privacy is key, and I think it's really good that Apple take this seriously. And with the HomePod mini, this is another reason that you don't have to worry about it listening to you unless you want it to do so. So my review summary and first thoughts. So while it took Apple some time to release the HomePod mini, it was certainly been worth the wait. Then, when it was finally announced back in October, the biggest shock for me was the relatively lowest price point. At first, it left me wondering how good this would actually be, but the setup is truly magical. If you're an Apple user, then it's what you've come to expect by now. For a speaker this small and the price point, the audio performance is good. Naturally, for a speaker its price and size, the HomePod mini has its limitations compared to the original HomePod, for instance, or other expensive dedicated sound systems. I also like that you can use this as a stereo pair, either with an Apple TV 4K or without, which further increases the audio performance, but you also have the choice of AirPlay support for those services that are not supported like Spotify. The fact that HomePod mini packs the hardware to act as a HomeKit hub, process automation actions, and work with HomeKit secure video is fantastic. So because of the price point again, it's hopefully going to spread the use of HomeKit and the Apple Smarthome platform. I also like the fact it includes Thread and the U1 chip, and this is ensuring the HomePod mini is as future-proof as possible. Then we have privacy that comes part of the Apple platform. Not only does it not collect data that can identify you or be sold to third parties, it's only activated when Siri is activated, so there's no pesky secret listening or any worries that someone might be eavesdropping or that Apple are collecting data on you. It simply does not exist. Although I really like the HomePod mini, one of the downsides, it does not have the ability to use this as a portable speaker via a built-in battery. But in some regards, I can see why Apple didn't include this due to its HomeKit capabilities. If the battery did die, then you lose the smarts in the home if this is your only or primary HomeKit hub. So I sort of can let them off for that, but it would have been great to have this option. Then the only other critique I need to give it is Siri. While it has improved over the years, it still has some way to go at getting better at providing information. For me, if Apple didn't deliver any new features to Siri over the next 12 months and just simply improve performance, this would be a big win for everyone. After all, this is half the battle for smart speakers. I often see on social media or comments on videos that Siri is not as good as its competition, and this is what, in a lot of people's eyes, lets it down. But it is improving and it is getting better, so it'd be great to see Apple improve Siri over time. The bottom line, if you're looking for a smart speaker and you're part of the Apple ecosystem, then the HomePod mini is a natural choice, plus it being more affordable, which means you can deploy more of these throughout the home, take advantage of the audio performance, the Smarthome HomeKit devices to be able to enable things, and certainly the Thread support and all things built in. This is a great choice. You can pick up the HomePod mini for £99 or $99 and the relevant currency in launch countries. It can be purchased from Apple and selected retailers online or in store. So guys, that's the end of the video, and hopefully you found it useful, and if you have, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Also, if you like this channel, don't forget to subscribe, and also check out our other social channels that follow HomeKit. The links are in the description below. I will do a follow-up to this video later down the line after more time of using it, and I'll give you my long-term review in about 2 months' time, so don't forget to check that out. So thank you very much. I'll speak to you soon.